We're all good. We're all good here. I got news too. I think you saw the
Yeah, show
Instagram.
it. Yeah, show it. Show it.
Uh, it looks way nicer than any pictures do justice on it. I swear
Yeah,
to
I
God.
know.
The BeoSound one in that color is just the piano black is awesome. But I
It's
also
shiny
noticed
on
that
camera, but it's
it's
more deep.
it's you know what? It's exactly like the old 8000s. Exactly like the old 8000s. But it's just so majestic looking on its own. Like it just works. It should be a default color for this product, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was surprised how easy it was to take apart. I
So
was very
did you have
surprised.
the normal aluminum color, or it seems to have?
No, I had the brass tone. That's the brass tone. I have two of
thought
the
so.
brass tone ones, and the aluminum one is way shinier. I had it here, and I found that it was just too much, even for my liking. So the brass tone, I had two of them still in the box, and the one that I just unpacked, and well, actually that's the one that is a beater. That's the one that went to Dominican with me. So there was some blemishes on the tubing already. So I figured, you know what? I'll make it brand new again, and I'll make him a piano black, or as I call him, the Vader, because it looks Darth Vader when you look at it from the front. It's really cool. But yeah, it took me about an hour and a half to swap it, to redress him. It was really simple. I was actually shocked how easy this thing takes apart.
So is it like
And
torque
how it
bits
actually
or
holds
something
together.
like that?
It's all torque screws, yes.
Yeah.
Like the neck itself, just because I can't see myself in the video today, the neck itself where the tweeter essentially mounts on,
Yeah.
this is attached here by 3 screws, and then it also on the bottom, like this whole plate is itself. So you are, like it was designed so it can be held by the top. This is friction fit. This is all screwed in, and this top just pops off after you quarter screw it. So it's really simple. And as far as the principle of construction, I would very much so compare it to the BeoCom 2. Like the way that there's these aluminum, there's notches in the front or in the inside of the grooves, or there's grooves on the inside of the tube where these metal notches come into, and then the screws pop into it, and that's how it all holds together. Like that the tube essentially is really just cosmetic. Like the entire structure is on, as you can see it on the screen now. I guess it's still showing the main tube chassis there. So that whole metal bit is essentially it's pretty slick.
Yeah, your internet is
It was
fairly
I
shit
think you have
today,
to put
by the-
some subtitles on.
not
on
good.
later.
Right on. Give me a minute. I'm gonna hardwire. I think I have a wrong enough cable. 1 sec.
I mean, if it's anybody that has cat cable or something, it should be Willie. So
Yeah, he has miles of cable everywhere.
yeah, I think he's gonna do it well.
Probably, hopefully.
But I wonder, do you think you can buy just the shell as it is?
Yeah,
Oh, the
that's what he
BeoSound one.
did.
Yeah, but how much? I mean, is it worth getting it or?
Depends a bit, I guess. I mean, wasn't the black one way more expensive than the regular ones?
No, I don't think so. I think it
Well,
was
if
the
it's
same.
the same price, then it's definitely not worth it. But,
Because I've been thinking more and more about.
well, from a value
Easy-
perspective, I
yeah.
mean.
I've been thinking more and more about customization. I mean, if I get a BeoSound 2, get the shell and send it off for repainting, especially now that we have seen people having really good custom works for them. So, especially fabrics. I've been really thinking about changing my fabrics for the 5s to have something special.
So no white then?
Maybe white, but more contour or texture to it. I mean, I still like the quadrat.
All right.
fabric.
I think I'm gonna. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know how I fall apart, but yeah, the construction of it is very simple. I was surprised how easy. Like the engineering, obviously, like the never-ending talent of B&O's hiding. It's awesome how they've done it. But yeah, you get to the thing from the bottom, of course, because you take off the 3 screw plate covers, and then There's a rubber seal, which is pretty slick. It's oiled with some crap, so it definitely makes a mess on your gloves and everything when you're working with it. Yeah, it was faster than I thought. Definitely, because first you start taking it apart. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be,
What did that cover cost?
I had to order in 3 pieces because I had to order the tube, I had to order the ring and the volume wheel. And
why is that?
The bottom ring is
Spare
the bottom
parts.
wheel. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
the bottom wheel, because it doesn't come in as a one piece.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, the tube itself comes in the BeoSound 1 box, and then you have the two the things like the volume wheel essentially comes with the bearings already attached to them. So that's a part that you can't, I guess, replace or paint. I'm thinking of painting the other ones white or something, but it wasn't much. I think it cost me altogether $400 US to swap over.
So from a value perspective, it's not really worth it, but...
No, it's not. But to me, the brass tone are unsellable here. No, I've sold one in 2 years. So it's something that never goes away, and I figured since BNO's pulled the pin under me and wouldn't actually put me on the list to get the black one, I just made it sure that I have one myself, and I built it, right? And yeah, I'm happy with it. It looks very nice. It looks very good where it's in a place where it's supposed to be, I guess. I like it. But I also have a BeoSound 2 on the way, which I'm excited to hear finally, to see how that works out. Maybe I'll sell it and maybe I won't. I don't know. But I hope
like
to make
the
one.
BeoSound 2 way more. And I often say to people, buy that instead, because, I mean, yeah, it's better to have that you have it on battery so you can use the BeoSound outdoors and more, but more than often people are still having it in the same spot as they always do.
It's a committed stereo, right? You just put it in the corner somewhere and you just visit it to tap a button or tap it on the top, or you have a couple Essence remotes and go. But I'm just wondering how that sounds. I know it's not going to be stereo, even though it has the opposing mid-range firing to the sides. But I'm still wondering how that sounds because I haven't had a listen to it.
I'm really disappointed that the Bang Olufsen first did promise that it was going to be compatible to stereo pattern, but as usually hasn't happened yet.
We promise something, then we look at the software and then we think, nah, it's too hard.
No, nothing is impossible, so they can change it, but it may take some time.
Well, you kind of have to want it to do it first, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big push, I guess, right? Have you guys seen? It was posted on Facebook recently. The something Y Design, the new speaker from B&O. Yanko Design. There we go. Let me just copy this goofy link here. I don't know. Does the chat?
Is it a closed Facebook group? So.
I think so. I don't know if it is closed or not.
But do you have?
It's yankodesign.com. If you go into it, it shows it directly. Yeah, YANKO design.com. So I wonder, A, what it sounds like, B, what... from what I understand, it's like a hybrid between the headphones and a Bluetooth speaker that it somehow connects as magnets together. It's really hard to even describe.
Yeah, I think yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I think
I have to see it first.
I think you would just, we would say it.
No.
That's it.
I haven't made promises, so.
Well, no, but this is what it was an event announced on 11th, so that's what, Wednesday?
Oh, no.
So I don't know how real that is or what that is and how would it even sound like to begin with. So I don't know if that's even. But apparently,
it looks interesting, but it almost looks more like, I don't know, a sort of design challenge, more so than a functional challenge.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what that would. Like, how do you put this on your ears if that's the headphones, or are they like in the ear?
Yeah,
it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting concept, I would say, but God knows. So, anyways, let's talk about the inevitable here, the Eclipse software update. So, what is the feedback? Because I have no idea anymore. Luckily,
You sold your a little bit too early, I think.
sold it off, and that's it. Is the curtains on it yet?
No.
Oh, I don't think
that's
it's
too hard.
I
mean, that's so Bang & Olufsen. Why would you put it in your Bang & Olufsen product?
I know. Well, my button it took almost a year. So,
well, they're there now, and they actually function. So that's
good. So everything's. What's the other
well.
performance? What else changed to the better in the software or performance? Nothing.
No.
No picture.
At least not that I can tell.
No, I think the big thing was just the My Buttons. What I know also.
I guess the gateway as well, but that you guys wouldn't know that because you don't have the gateway.
No, we don't use it. No.
But that's I think one of the things that. Well, apparently there's going to be another gateway rendition coming out soon, hopefully. This year, maybe next. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think that I really, in my opinion, have a need for it because this one is good as it is. And
but future homes, maybe.
Well, the future homes for sure, right?
So I maybe with my house in the future, maybe.
Well, put it this way: you no longer need I guess the new gateway. I definitely see it without the Masterlink port. There is going to be no more. I'm sure of that because they're just going to completely delete the remnants of the yesteryears. I think if there was a smartest way that they could have gone and done about it is that they would retain the Masterlink port and make it hybrid with a converter as well, so you can actually utilize your old technology. Because there is so many people that have old Masterlink systems that you don't really need much more, but you can make it better by simply putting, automating whatever there is, right? Why not have your 9000 or 3200 on an iPad?
Yeah.
I think it's cool, and then you can control the whole bit and whatnot. I have a big project coming up right now with the lighting system that I'm going to be doing next week, so that's going to be interesting. It's so far the largest Lutron system or radio raw system that I have done, which the dude has now 2 repeaters, so there's 135 devices.
Bloody hell.
Well, it's not even that there's 135 devices. The point is that there's 75 keypads, and the gentleman that has done, it's an electrician that has done the programming, as one would call it in a pseudo way, has done exactly what I've done in the very, very early years of my beginnings doing automation. And that is just loading the shit out of all the keypads. Like you have to, because there's 6 buttons, I have to have 6 functions for every single room. So there's 4 keypads in one bedroom, and each has 6 functions that really don't correlate to one another whatsoever. Why? There's no need for that. Like, yes, you can have keypads, but I guess now a lot of it will change due to the fact that I'm enrolling the BeoLink gateway into it. So you can now control it with you can also control the B&O system through the Lutron keypads. That's the benefit of it, right? So to do all that, like there's going to be a few days of programming. First, I got to establish the lighting control proper, which is going to be a few days in the sleepover for sure, because you can't really see the lights till it's dark out, right? So most of the programming is done usually at night, or you can you need to see the house at least once what it behaves like in an evening and dusk and night, and then you can gauge your percentages based off of that. And once you have the program set up, the client can actually set it himself later on. They can adjust the stuff, right? But to hard code all the shit together with the B&O and back and forth, like that's a little more work than.
I have a feeling the new BLGW is going to be much more of an app-based thing.
Well, it's already HTML5. Like that's the nice thing about it. Where the old gateway was a pain in the butt to program, and the guys that are watching or will be watching can attest to that have done programming on it. I don't know. I'm sure that the next gateway is going to be the HTML5 because it just makes sense. Maybe it'll be more. You got Hornets coming by.
It's a 2-stroke moped.
That's a moped. Oh my god. But if you look at Masterlink, I think it should be still supported because those systems are going to be around for at least another decade, man. Like people that just bought,
they're expensive products and they want them,
Of course, and you're going to fix it. Like, don't tell me that the BeoVision 755 is going to be dead in the next 3 years. There's no way. Like, those panels were built like tanks, and they're going to be around for much longer than I think B&O had anticipated or anticipates to begin with. And subsequently now, those people like, yeah, you can push them over to do another purchase or make another purchase. But really, like, if you drop $20,000 on a TV that is perfectly fine, why would you? Like, I would rather scavenge the eBay and buy the converter so I can make it work with my newest stuff.
Yeah, but wasn't that almost the point of selling it up to, like, I don't know, Network Link? That stuff was going to last 15 years at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think, even like, when they stopped selling it in 2015, you think, well, we promised 15. That's 2030 still. It's kind of silly.
Or at least 10 years if you put it like a realistic a decade on it, right? Which is, it's a lot of time if you think about it. But man, like I have a 9000 sitting here. This thing, it's been designed, came out in 1996.
Yeah, people are still using their old MX, CRTs TVs, the Beo Fold. So stereos and old. So
yeah, my neighbor has one.
Yeah, so they are expensive. And the selling point then was they wouldn't last forever, and it's almost true. So
yeah. And she has a separate overture with two Beolab 6000s.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the overture. That's the one with the tape still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dolby HX Pro.
I mean, it's
a great
still functions.
Dolby algorithm, though.
Yeah.
Oh, fudge! I'm not making fun of it. It's just interesting that. So, like, I'm waiting for the era to turn around. The tapes come around because we're heading that way.
Yeah, but tapes doesn't contain that audiophile audio quality, so I don't know.
I would dispute that, Eric. If you have a good tape, like I'm talking, $60, $70 tape. TDK used to make those back in the day, and those were awesome.
Yeah, but nobody.
I think people more
record when you did a good. Oh, not reel to reels. I'm talking regular tapes. Like
but I think it's audiophile people still use those. What they call the big.
The reel to reels. Yeah, no, man, that's too much. I wouldn't be interested in that. It's too real for me.
Old studio equipment stuff. So.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, my problem with the Spotify is that it doesn't distribute throughout the BeoLink system, right? So if I'm doing Spotify, the only way that I can get away with the murder in here is I Bluetooth that bullshit into the BeoSound moment, and then I do it in the house, because that's the only way you can bypass the actual Spotify kicking you off as like your account is being used in multiple spots. That's the problem with the Spotify, where Deezer does not do that. Deezer allows up to 150 streams per account, per 100 streaming devices per hour on one account. So that is the biggest difference in limitation, and why I used to be with Spotify, obviously, because that was the go-to thing on a freaking BeoSound 5 when I had the BeoSound 5, right? I waited 2 years for the Spotify to come into Canada because the CRTC and their bullshit never-ending communism rule will not allow music, right? Because the CRTC, the rule here is that you have to have 40%, I believe it is 40% of the broadcasted music needs to be of Canadian content.
That's how you get Nickelback.
That's how they have killed Nickelback, because they had played this shit to the ground. Like they've played the CDs plain, like all the way to, like, they've played the zeros and ones right out of them. And there's few of them that, I'm like, that's why I have a hate on Canadian artists, because you turn on the radio and that's just all what's puking out of there, right? And it's harsh.
It's almost unfair. Well, it is unfair, really.
It's very unfair.
We're playing you because we have to.
Yeah, it's monopoly.
In Sweden, you play Swedish music, but because it's good. The music industry in Sweden is good.
Also, because Swedes understand Swedish.
Yeah, and so for us, what sucked as Canada goes, you have Spotify introduced, right? So then we sold BeoSound 5 for like 2 years, and then the BeoSound 5 became obsolete, and then a year later Spotify, waved the middle finger to all the music streaming services, including the Avants and the V1s, right? All that this BeoSystem 4 chassis platform that was based off it. When the software update came out, and took the Spotify right out of the sources, right?
Yeah.
Because they've retracted back, and to me,
sometimes why you should never update stuff. If it's working, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's still, regardless of how it worked before, you still could not distribute the Spotify throughout the BeoLink system. That was the problem.
But should we get back to talk about my buttons and the difference?
Your buttons? What are your buttons then?
But do you use them, and have you used them before a lot?
I never had them before.
No,
but
I know
will.
that, but
I actually do use them because finally it's how it's supposed to be. One fucking button press.
Yeah, and I think for the most people that didn't get this remote, I don't know, I have them both, so
yeah,
I'm not that dependent on this. But I used to have, with my Avant, I had the 3 buttons, and the reason why I got the newer remote with the 4 my buttons is just because I used my buttons so much that I wanted to have an extra button. And then when I get the clips, none of them works. Yeah, so
the whole reason I wanted like this clear remote is because I didn't like the fucking Amazon and Netflix buttons on there, and I was told.
Oh, they cheapened the shit out of the remote. Man.
Yeah,
that's what I thought as well, and I was told from the beginning that you could program them, and it's taken up to, what is it now, 9 months at least.
Yeah. Just like the baby, so delivered on time.
So finally, my choice has paid off for a clean aesthetic.
Yeah, I use my buttons all the time. I actually do have them programmed a little differently. I have, this one is for the control, and control is basically just for the HVAC control. Mm-hmm. So either heat or cool within 25 to 21 degrees, and then turn the fan on and off. And then I have the light button, which has 4 scenes to it: general, evening, sleep, and TV viewing. And the TV viewing is essentially a macro that turns off all of the lights around the house. Sometimes you go to the bathroom or you do something like, or I have music playing throughout the entire home all the time.
You don't have a seduction light scene?
Well, those are on the actual colored. So if you go to light and then you press OK, then you have 3 or 4 different colors for the lights as well. That if I press now, they'll change the color of the room.
But I don't think you want.
You can't really see that right now, I don't think. But it definitely works very well. So that's my buttons. This one I always have programmed on all the ones as join, the top right. So every remote that you buy, that you just pick up and you press it, it just joins the room that you're in. And the only one that I have a freebie is the top left one, which is, I guess, for this one I just have YouTube, because that's all I really consume for media as far as it's concerned now. I will put it as a Netflix, which will be a gateway programmed button, and that'll just put the Roku exactly into the Netflix mode, which I have done for one of my clients, and she just loves the crap out of it. Not on my buttons on the remote control, but on the keypad on the Lutron. So when you walk into the downstairs basement where the TV viewing area, you press Netflix, lights come on, TV turns on, puts it into her account on the Netflix, and you sit down. By the time you grab the remote, it's perfectly timed, and the lights start to dim away, and you sit in a complete darkness and just start watching TV. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the magic.
Yeah, finally.
So, but
I mean, in a way, I'm
can
very.
Can you save the stand presets?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was very annoyed, but in a way, I'm sort of somewhat glad. I mean, that it finally works. But my cousin still hasn't seen the new setup, so I still want to fuck with him by turning like the TV on and then just have the Eclipse play. Yeah. But obviously not go like okay, this,
Yeah.
that, and cancel, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And then crank the
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
up, and he'll probably go, well, that sounds really good, and then actually have the 50s join in.
Bam.
And then it's like, oh my good God, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
That's it's the best way to demo him for
Yeah.
sure. Because you have a wow factor out of the TV sound for sure. Because a lot of people that are conventionally, when you come across TVs nowadays, you don't really expect them to sound good at all.
Nope.
It's just you're considering a soundbar as a plan B because the TVs now they're a clean frame more or less,
Yeah.
right? I've seen one at client's place, and I think it's probably a little older panel. I don't think it's that old, but it's an OLED. I think it's a Sony. I don't know if Sony makes OLED or are they LCD based. I have no idea.
Both.
But
It depends on what the model is.
it was an easel stand.
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
the Sony
all OLED
A1
because it was saying
or-
that it's an OLED, but and it's the one with like an easel stand, which uses the easel back as the speakers, right? Which then I'm thinking like, well, how the hell do you hang this on the wall? You
on
can't.
that, there's a VESA mount in there, but there's only the sub is in the easel stand.
Oh,
There's two electric sort of motors that are on the screen that make the screen vibrate, and the screen do the mids and the highs.
really? So it's like
Yeah.
I guess a piezo driver, more or less. Like that's
Yeah,
weird.
so the screen is an acoustic panel. It's the Sony A1, it's called here. It has a different name in North America.
Interesting.
But in the easel stand is, amongst others, the HDMI ports and all that jazz. And
Yeah.
then
It's
there's,
the whole hub essentially.
well, there's a sub, but I think it's like a 4.5 inch or something.
Well, that's better than nothing, in my
But-
opinion.
Yeah, but I've listened to that TV, and it works really well, but it works less and less well the further you are off axis, obviously, with the screen making the sound instead of actual speakers.
Justin Bieber proposed. Speaking of Justins,
Oh, okay.
Are we really talking about
So I
that
got-
now on BeoTalk? I know we are getting off topic, but
hard off topic.
I mean, if any
Anyway.
musician is a better spokesperson for the brand, it must be Kanye.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, he has Lab 5s in most of his videos, like when they're filmed in like houses and whatnot. He loves.
Does he?
Yeah, seriously, he loves Bang
the-
Olufsen.
Yeah, and he has
Just
some
got
headphones.
some
It's
new
like,
respect for this guy then. Yeah.
He has the H6 or H8, I think, headphones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a picture
no,
of him getting on an airplane, and he has them, or had them. And I also think Justin also had the Beo Play headphones in some picture. So maybe we can talk about him.
It almost
Speaking of
counts less
Beoplay headphones-
unless you have Lab anything in your house.
Often say in Swedish that is funny, both in Swedish and English. It is it's not that fart that kills you; it's a smell. And in Swedish, fart means speed, and smell is the crash. So it's not the speed that kills you; it's the crash. So it's funny because two ways.
That's, but then I saw that somewhere, the fart science in
Yeah,
I
fart
that
is speed. Yeah.
Fart is speed.
Well, thinking about that brought back a memory of what my dad always used to say. My dad always used to say, "A fart is just a shit without the stuff."
Right on. That's too funny.
Jesus, Eric.
You got a Ferrari taking off your
I
part.
see some street rangers or something. Or my neighbor, one of them.
Oh, by the
man.
way, it'll take you 12 seconds, but I have a visual surprise for you, Eric.
Oh.
For both of us then.
Oh. I'm so used to that my computer screen has touch screen, so I started doing the touch movement on my girlfriend's MacBook, and surprise, it didn't work.
Oh, very nice. I like those. Those are all custom, I'm sure. And they're all white.
Are you
Like proper
receiving?
white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right now.
nice.
I really like that. I think I'm getting dicked on those two quadrat tiles that are wrong pattern or wrong orientation of the
These
brown
colors you
fabric.
can really do some chemistry working,
Yeah, I'm gonna send
molecules
those to
and stuff. Yeah.
Penguin and get some I want to get the gray ones, just like the old BeoPlay A6 Quadrat tile were, or Quadrat fabric, that gray, like neutral gray, and they're not offered on the shape. Also, Skinny Play posted that you can custom print on shape tiles now. I saw on Instagram actually this morning or yesterday evening, sometimes very, very, very recently today, that it just popped up on my Instagram that Skinny Play posted. Haven't posted in a while, whatever, right? That and I checked it out, and they had the shape tile with the black and white stripes. I don't know how. I'm not a really big fan of the prison deal, but it may look cool. But I like the tiles in the solid colors like those are. Is it red or is it orange? Because it looks very.
It's red. It's red. It's not orange. No.
It looks cool though. I really like them.
Yeah.
That's essentially my system, except that I put a couple more tiles. It's the same.
Again, this is from the guy that did the upholstery for you, Eric.
Yeah.
But you'll see it when you get it. But if you turn it round, you truly cannot tell it's not done from factory.
And I like that details.
I just don't understand, because it's a big product if you think about it. Like, it's got a 4-inch woofer in the damn thing. Like, it's got some size. Why not put a Wi-Fi chip into it, make it BeoLink compatible? If you are branding it, if you're slapping a B&O logo, not BeoPlay logo on it, make it BeoLink compatible. Maybe not put the network port into it so it doesn't hardwire.
Yeah.
So then you don't
because it is letter P for portable. I think otherwise it should be an M product or something. So
M is for mobile, P is for poorly design. I think it's just, I don't like it at all. It's just it doesn't work. And you know what? I'm confident in the fact that it sounds great, but I think it goes against the functionality of what the B&O is doing today.
I think they just have to keep up with the Sonos and other brands.
Yeah,
I think they are
Sonos is so far ahead already.
But Sonos is there.
Instead of just giving up, I think they are trying at least.
I don't know if you remember in that web page that had your shitty sort of firing email on it. They put a Sonos Playmaker in the BeoSound shape in one of the tiles. So even Bang & Olufsen puts Sonos in their own stuff.
I know, and it's bullshit. And I like the core for what it does if it did the IR, because it's a biggest requirement for me to have it, and it's just I have the need for it, right? No matter what I order, it doesn't show up. So I moved into the BeoSound, or the converter itself. I'm running it on stereo. The algorithm, you need way more than 4 speakers if you are going to do the band on the wall algorithm that B&O promotes with the BeoSound shape.
I think we said that when was
it? In
10 days ago, that you need 6 to 8 speakers at least.
One thing that I've noticed the other day, and I don't know how many people actually. Well, I'm sure that there's a few of us that own the shape now out there. Has anybody seen it flashing orange, which is an overheating status from the amplifier one? And I had this come up a few days ago.
That's not good.
Well, but I just and it was nothing crazy. Like I said,
I don't know what that means when you say that, because you're the dickhead that puts your Lab 90s to 90.
Well, it should fucking hold up, in my opinion, right?
The guy who cooks speakers, yeah.
It's the amplifier from the shape. It's not the core. The core doesn't. It's not even there anymore. Where a core used to hang is a link line, and it's connected to the converter. But it definitely heats up quite a bit, despite the fact that I have air conditioner register actually blowing cold air onto that wall, which basically cycles down that wall. So
I wish I had air conditioner right now.
Oh. Yeah, me too.
It's being washed by the colder air. How are you guys doing over there?
It's 29 degrees here inside.
I'll put it to 23.
Hump bragging.
I mean, I live in a fucking greenhouse by now.
You hear the satisfying hum of the air conditioner?
No, I hear the clicking of your internet.
love my AC.
But coming back to like Bang & Olufsen working with Sonos, I almost like if they are gonna more or less, like with the Eclipse, steal half of the sort of intellectual property of LG by working together like that, I almost wouldn't mind if they used the connectivity bits of Sonos and just said these speakers work with Sonos too. Because Sonos is very stable. I do think their speakers are okay, but they're not as good as Bang & Olufsen.
Of course they're not.
Most people stream like Spotify in them, so that's the problem. I think the speakers themselves are really good if you play like diesel FLAC files or something.
Well, that's the point, that you wouldn't really like. We're quite unique in what we have as our speaker systems, because we appreciate the music on a different level than I guess you would call a common person would, right?
The one small size speaker you'll see in chat in a mo that I was kind of worried for Bang & Olufsen about was the Sonos Play 5, because I would say it's how large would that be? Slightly smaller than the bookshelf speaker, but you can position it in any other way. But the sound for the size, and especially the volume it goes to, is terrific.
Oh yeah. I've seen that one.
I mean, it's obviously nowhere near as expensive, but for like it's to give a review, like there's I would say there's too much lows in there, but even so, I mean it's like 1/10 of the price of even like a Lab 3 or something. Yet it comes with 3 tweeters, and they're all like two of them are off axis, so it sounds good in just about any position. And
it bounces off the wall, so it widens the soundstage. So they're basically somewhat utilizing like the Acoustimass principle.
Yeah, but the thing is,
from the Bose.
You can use these speakers individually,
and in a surround as well.
Yeah, but also there's volume buttons on the top, and if you link them all together, you can walk to any of the speakers and turn the volume down.
That's cool. That's not possible on the B&O, but it's possible through the B&O app.
Yeah, but with Sonos you can use the app or the speaker. It doesn't matter where you are. Let's say your phone is in the other room and you're at any of your speakers, you can just turn it down.
No, I totally agree with that, but I don't think that I would want that function to turn the whole house down. For me, it does make sense, because when you're on the phone, like I'm a pacer. We've talked about that too. So
is that
for
why
me,
it took so long for you to buy carpet?
Because you walk in the office. Oh fuck! It's been a long trip. But yeah, I'm a pacer, so I have a button that I made for the gateway that mutes the shit out of the whole house, because I walk around from room to room to room to room when I'm on the phone, and usually it's always the furthest point in the house. Yeah, and it's always the furthest point in the house where you can find yourself when they're like, "Okay, are you ready to write this down?" It's like, "Oh fuck!" Now you gotta run all the way across.
Wait a minute.
And the one thing that's right. One thing you can never find is the pen. Like, what the hell, right? So yeah, but I don't think I would utilize it in that way. Like, I don't think necessarily I would want to sit or have somebody sitting in the bathroom and now turns the music down and turns my 90s down as well. Fuck you. No, man, you just sit on your can and do your own thing, but don't do music here. That's I roboted it out again.
Yeah, you keep on doing that. We sort of keep rolling with the punches. On another note, I forwarded in a video, and I saw something white that first Sandeep told me about, and then Eric came later.
Yeah.
I was subscribed, but again, sorry, John from Bang & Olufsen Manchester. For some reason, I didn't get it in my feed, but I watched it anyway. But
which one?
What is it? The Horizon in white.
The white Horizon. I love that. I would like to know what paint they've used on it. And I would also like to know...
Yeah, because it looked factory made. Yeah.
If anybody's a Bang & Olufsen fan, go and subscribe to Bang & Olufsen in Manchester, by the way, just to give a shout out while we're at it.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to play the video as is for copyright and whatnot.
But it wasn't Bang & Olufsen Manchester that did this.
No, but he put it in a video. So.
Yeah. But who was it that...
Stores.
It was here in Holland, I think.
Yeah.
Because quite a lot of the people he featured in the video came from this country.
Yeah.
Especially with we'll get to that the special Eclipse that was here as well.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that pops out of the ground.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
That's sick. I would really like to see how it's attached on the bottom, because it's 2 standpipes, right?
Yeah.
That's gotta be some sort of a crazy ass bracket, or I'm thinking that it's attached more or less to the back of the plate where you would attach the wall bracket itself, because it's a huge metal chassis plate. That
and with that,
probably.
all of it.
If you have that, you don't need curtains, man.
No.
You don't need curtains on your clips.
You still need curtains, Eric. We've been through this.
You don't need them, but you still want them.
Exactly.
Because when you
don't
see
need
Bang & Olufsen, you sort of assume you pay for curtains.
Yeah, no, that TV is beautiful. I really like that. Yeah, they're right. It should be the
It
standard.
really looks like the BeoPlay TV and the old BeoVision 8 they did in white.
The back of it, not really, but the front, I really like.
Yeah, but it was
Because of the
white
contrast, the black and white, the front seems a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I like it.
Well,
And I
maybe
would
you can
put-
have somebody, or write to John and ask who did it, and get one for your new PC monitor.
It's now I want to see a pair of like Beolab 12s 2 next to it, or white freeze next to it or something. See how it goes with.
Aren't your BeoLab 3s white, or are they regular
Yeah,
black?
but to see it with this TV, to see how it looks, because I want that in white.
That'll make a nice computer screen and
It
speakers.
looks spectacular. The only
Because-
drawback that you had that you have lost in that particular paint job, I'm sure and certain of it, is the B&O logo, because that laser engraving, it's not possible to retain.
I am still quite
Yeah.
honestly waiting for this, because I still think it looks super cool. But
What?
Yeah, and also different kinds of
Oh,
wood for
there it
the,
is.
like,
Yes, this is exactly
and
it. You have to see the drivers through it, and I think that's the sexy in it, that you can see the bass pumping, like
there
the
we go.
fudge.
Yeah,
it almost also makes it look so much more slender.
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, I think you can all like if you want
That's
to cut.
the 50s I would buy. If I were to get them, I would get them with this, or I would get them solid white, so they match the 90s here. To
I like the
compensate
Beolab 90s naked.
for the room.
Very cool look to see all that.
They look
kind
really
of
hot
big-
when
yeah,
they're
very
yeah,
Star
they look
Wars
really good
like
when
or
they're
something.
on.
Yeah.
The problem is that where do you store the sails and all that shit, right? Like if
Yeah.
I take them off, like there's nowhere to put it. Like if I do them naked, then everything is on my bed because it's white, so you can't really put it in anywhere because it's white, and you don't want to bend those or snag them like cloth. Like
Use
frick,
them as
the
a
replacement for the
lampshade or
top of those
something.
is-
Yeah, I almost
Yeah.
like them more naked than I like them with the sails on.
Yeah, but I just don't have anywhere to store the sails unless I build the boxes and put the sails in them.
Although I have seen have it in my
I have some
phone,
spare
like,
room. I can save them for you.
There is a building in
gonna order your
Stockholm
black-
that is built like the Beolab 90s in that contour way.
Hmm. But that's where that part of the design was actually borrowed from.
No, I don't think from that building. It's quite.
But there
newer.
is few that were. There is one building that looks exactly like the speakers.
Yeah, I know that, but
Where the heck it
it's
is,
not in.
but-
Yeah, that's not in Stockholm. I think that's almost some kind of China. I think.
I don't know where it is, but it looks
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
they're-
a skyscraper.
they look hot when they're naked.
Yeah.
Most things do.
Yeah, I know. They just look hot.
Let's just get back to the home automation bit. I wonder, did you guys spot the white Beolab 3s in the high in the corner with the Eclipse guy where it comes out of the?
Yes.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
pay much
yeah,
attention to that. I
reason
think.
there. I wonder how they must have ran all the wires through the tubes as well, because you can like it's clean as a whistle. That whole entire thing.
Can you
is
show
clean
it?
As a whistle.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
showing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right in the top right corner, and I guess the other one would be in top left
Up
corner.
there,
But
yeah.
you can't really see it.
That actually, I noticed those sooner than I noticed the Beolab 50s in the room.
That's so funny. But yeah, the 50s definitely
The 50s
look
they are
good,
very discreet. Yeah.
yes. Even though
More
they're a huge
discreet
speaker.
than the 5s would have been.
Yes. And I think it's because of those elongated lines of aluminum on the bottom. Like they ground the speaker more.
Now just imagine if they're white on the front.
You wouldn't see them.
No.
You would see the other one against the black background, but if you had just swapped that one side for the white grills, you wouldn't see neither of those speakers, because the other one is right below that lamp.
Yeah, so where my
now I see it. Yeah. Didn't see that one either.
Yeah.
Under the arc lamp, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, where my mouse is now, you'll see in the Mo on the YouTube.
Oh, you can't say that, yeah.
Is where the TV is, and then we'll fast forward a bit to how it's integrated.
Yeah, I just wonder where. It's so clean.
Yeah, it's such a fucking great idea. Like
it's also
it doesn't even show, like, so that board has to go somewhere. I think that the board actually comes down, and then this comes up flush, because you do not see the back board behind it. You see? The back.
Is he already drunk?
Covering board does not flip upwards. No, if you look, just go back.
Your internet makes you sound so horrible.
Oh, my internet sucks. No, for real. If you look at it, like, I wonder how they've done it though, because that's mechanically very interesting.
Yeah, maybe it pulls back into like
the
towards
board
window.
has to go down. The board has to go down, and then the other one comes back up and makes it flush. Otherwise, you'd have that goofy backboard covering the pipes, right, from the side or from the back side.
Or it can be like, if the TV is here, like literally pull in and the TV comes up with the same material at the bottom.
Possibility.
Yeah, interesting. That's a very cool install for sure.
Yeah. To anybody that's listening, if you want to ask anybody else for a question, we're free to do so. This is somewhat of an open forum for that sort of shit.
Exactly.
No, so if you're ever wondering, does anybody else have it? Because Bang & Olufsen tells me it's only me. First of all, it's probably not. But if you want to make sure, feel free to ask us, and we'll ask around the world.
Just start an ad. Do you have a unicorn problem with your Bang & Olufsen product?
Yeah.